Tanu Rabbanan, the first wide line on 28b. Okay? Tanu Rabbanan, Neman Atinok, Loma Kachom Ali Abo, Mishpochazu Torah, Mishpochazu Tmeya. Child says, now he's an adult, he says, this family is Torah, is pure, the other ones are contaminated. Someone asks, what relevance does contamination have? Torah Tmeya, so Gadaitoch. What relevance does contamination have? Right? What relevance that has to the family's contaminated? I mean, you think you're contaminated, go to the mikveh, you're not contaminated. Someone says, what it meant to say, he's believed to say this family came from kosher Jews, and the other ones are not kosher Jews. Shel bas ploni leploni. And also, the Gemara looks at what it means. We ate b'ktzotzo regarding ploni to ploni, the marriage of this woman marrying so-and-so. Sheinu molichin chalo matonos leploni kohen al yidei atzmo. And he says, when I was a child, I used to deliver chalo, which is truma, and the gifts to so-and-so the kohen, avlo yidei acher, not through another person. I delivered it personally myself. What about if we're speaking now a person, even though the origin of the testimony was when he was a child, but now he's testifying as an adult, we accept the testimony. What about if a person originally saw something as a goy here, and subsequently he converted? And now as a Jew he wants to testify from what he had seen when he wasn't a Jew. Or he was a Evet Kanani, he was a Canaanite slave. Subsequently he was emancipated, so he's a full Jew today, and he wants to testify in something which he had seen when he was a slave. Since the art, is that different than a child, than a minor, or it's the same thing? So the Brisa says, but all these various things we've spoken about, although the child, the adult who had seen something as a child is believed, but in all of them, if he was a non-Jew, been this guy and he converted, he's not believed. The child is not believed to say as an adult. He says he remembers that this person had an easement into a field. Or a person had a certain location, a right to be there, or he would eulogize that which indicated his location. He's not believed. They're believed. They are believed. What Rabbi Yochanan broke when he's arguing, what is he arguing? Is he arguing on the case of the minor regarding the monetary issue, or regarding the non-Jew converting that we believe in? Is he coming to argue in the closing case where we say the child is not believed to testify regarding a monetary situation? Amona, afuki mamono. How could he say he is believed? You're extracting money. El areisha. It's going in the first cases. V'kulam. The Tanakama says in all of them the minor who became an adult is believed. But the Tanakama says, but if it's a non-Jew who converted, or the slave who was emancipated, is not believed. On that, Rabbi Yochanan Broka says, I disagree. That although initially the origin of the testimony was he wasn't Jewish, or he was a slave, now that he's a Jew, I do believe him. Okay? What's the argument? Why does Tanakama say the goy who converted is not believed, or the slave who was emancipated is not believed? Why? Tanakama Sova came and over Kechovim will have a dive. Since initially when he originally saw, he wasn't Jewish, we say he wasn't that exacting. His recollection is not that accurate. Reb Yochanan Broka Sova came to Daiti Leguyure. Yeah, this is saying interesting. Since initially he had in mind to convert, when we're speaking of personal converts, it's not something, it's a whim. Meaning he's been thinking about it a while. So since he had it ready in mind, even at that time, to convert, made the Kavidaik, therefore he was more precise in his perception of what he saw. Yeah. So it comes out, it's interesting. So if, let's say originally it's going back 20 years ago, and at that time he hadn't had the experience which caused him to have an interest in converting. Seemingly even Rabbi Yochanan Broka would be agreeable that he's not believed. He's only saying because since initially when he saw it, he already had in mind to convert. Therefore, when he observed something, he observed it in a more accurate way. My katzotza, it says also, the child's believed to say when it comes old, he saw a katzotza. What's katzotza? Listen to the story. Tonu Rabbona, Mike Ketza katzotza, echad min ha'achin shnos isha shein hugeneslo. A brother in a family married a woman who wasn't appropriate, meaning she was not a kosher Jew. He married a woman, let's say she was an illegitimate Jew. Bon me mishpocho mivin chovis b'lei peiros. So the family go and they take a barrel filled with fruits, v'shovros b'emtzer rechova, and they smash it in the middle of the public thoroughfare, meaning they make a public statement that everybody should know that this is disastrous. Yeah, this is what they do. V'omrim, and they make it, and they make a proclamation. Achenu beis Yisrael shimu achinu shimu. Our brothers, the Jewish people, listen. Achinu ploni nos isha geneslo. Our brother so and so married a woman who's not appropriate for him, meaning she's not a legitimate Jew. U'misyaron anu shem yisariv zar b'zareinu. And we're concerned that his children who are not legitimate will intermingle in our families. Bo kulachem dugma lahorosh lo yisarov. Yisariv zaro b'zareinu. You should take from this an example, meaning you should remember this for always. Yeah, that his children should not marry into our families. Zui ketzotza, and this is the ketzotza, means they smash the barrel. Shatinik dema lo erol oleo. So therefore, let's say you have an adult. He remembers such an event when he was a child. Therefore, you believe his testimony to say that that person's family are not legitimate Jews. Hajan loch isha shen samul hajan lon hajan loch isha samul hajan lon hajan loch isha samul hajan alon. Okay.
What is it that the boy should be perception?
No, he's not as. See, a goy, his when he sees something, his whole life, the way he lives his life, accuracies. We're not asking in his profession, you know. As a physicist, what do you say? He saw an event on the street. How focused is it? Because the whole idea was speaking with the integrity of a person. When he sees something, does it make a difference of, is it this way, is it that way? The whole Jew, the way a Jew, even as a child, was brought up, everything has to be on the up and up. So if you're going to say something, when originally you observed it more accurately. Don't about religious Jews. Okay. We're not talking about chol. We're not talking about the Kohanim. Let's see him. The brother married a mamzeres. That's what he said. Here we're talking about generations. It should be a sign for generations. We're talking about generations here. Maybe they would do the same thing. They would do the same thing. Well, it seemed, well, the person is no longer a Kohen. His son is no longer a Kohen. What? Yeah, but he's illegitimate. He can marry an ordinary Jew. But it seems to be there's more serious than cholol here. Okay, now, the Torah says that if a man, everybody agrees, if a person rapes a 12-year-old girl who's a virgin, what does the Torah say? He has to pay 50 shkolim to the father of the girl, right? 50 silver coins to the father of this girl, and he has an obligation to marry the girl, right? What about if he seduces a girl, 12 years old, who's a virgin? Same thing, right? It's called onis u'mefater. Whether he rapes or he seduces her, he's obligated to marry her if the father and the girl agree that accept the man in marriage. If neither are interested, he doesn't marry her, but he has to pay. It's called knas. He pays a penalty. There's going to be a machlokus between Rebbein and Chachamim. What about if she's a girl who's raped before the age of 3? It's not called a rape. It's called molestation, but it's not called a rape because it's not called an act of cohabitation until she's minimally 3 years old. So there's an argument. What about paying knas if somebody goes and rapes a girl between 3 and 12 and a half? Once she reaches 12 and a half, she's classification as bulgaris. She's considered a mature woman. So there's an argument, is knas only between 12 and 12 and a half? Or knas, the penalty is from 3 until 12 and a half. That's going to be machlokes tanoim. Let's say, Elo nara sheishlam knas. These are the maidens. Nara is a girl between the age of 12 and 12 and a half who receives knas. Habal ha-mamzeres. What about she? He's not permitted to marry her. Correct? She's a mamzeres. Even though he can't marry, he pays knas. Ala Nesina, another illegitimate type Jew. Nesina means she came from a nation called the Nesinim. Ala Kusis, Ala Giores. She wasn't an original Jew, she converted. But when did she convert? Before she was 3 years old, because after 3 years old, we have to suspect that she wasn't a virgin. Ala Shvuya, she was a captive, because on a Torah level, even a captive, the presumption is she's a what? She's a psula. because she has to be a virgin. Ala shivcha sheniftu. Shenizgairu, the shivcha that was redeemed, who converted, shenishtachru. Right? The guy who converted, she was a man. Since all these things happened before she was 3 years old, so even if she was raped, the rape is not called a rape, and she becomes a virgin, meaning the besulim grow back. So what about a person has relations with a sister? He goes and rapes his sister, right? And she's between the age of 12 and 12 and a half, which what's the liability cohabiting with a sister? It's koris. Achos oviv, the sister of his father, which is also koris. Al achos imo, the sister of his mother, which is koris. Achos ishto, the sister of his wife, it's koris. Al eshes ochiv, which is koris, the wife of his brother. We're speaking about, well, let's say she was married to Mina Ersin. There was only kedushin, there was no nesuin. Al eshes achi oviv, the wife of the brother of his father. Al anida, yeshlam knas. Every one of these cases, you pay knas. Although there's koris, av pi she'ein b'koris, although there's a liability of koris, because if it would be Mises Bezdin, if the liability would be Mises Bezdin, well, then what would it be? Then it's Kimlei B'Drabinei. Person has a monetary liability, and simultaneously, the action he does carries the death penalty, you're absolved of the lesser liability. But over here, since it's koris, by koris we know it's Kimlei B'Drabinei, therefore the person has to pay knas. Ein ben Mises Bezdin, he says. Api she'ein b'koreis, although there's koreis, ein ben Mises Bezdin, so since there's no Mises Bezdin, there's no death penalty, therefore you pay knas. Kimlei b'draminei, it's only if you have coupled the death penalty with a lesser liability, that's when you're absolved of the lesser liability. But if it's koreis, although koreis is serious, we don't apply the principle of kimlei b'draminei. Okay? Hani naros, psulos. Islu knas, so what's the connotation of the Mishnah? The connotation of the Mishnah is, these women who all are illegitimate, you pay knas. What's the inference? The inference is, but if they would be kosher Jews, you wouldn't pay knas. So that's the first question. Hani naros psulos islu knas ksher slow. But if they be kosher Jews, kosher women, there's no knas if you rape them. Hochikama elu naros psula sheishim knas. Meaning, no, of course, a kosher woman, God forbid, a woman, she's raped, you pay knas. But the Mishnah says, but these are the psulos. These are, although they're not legitimate, you also pay knas. What are they? That although you're not able to marry them, nevertheless you pay knas. By a kosher woman, you were able to marry her. Therefore, you pay knas. But even the ones that are illegitimate, that you're not permitted to marry, the halacha is you still pay knas. Nara. So what's the inference of the Mishnah? It says, Elu naros sheishlam knas. Okay? Elu nara sheishlam knas. So what's the inference? Nara, but not a ketana. That means between the age of 12 and 12 and a half, but not less than 12, which is a minor. Nara ain't ketana lo, mantana. The Mishnah says, Nara, yes, but a ketana not. Omer Rav Yudah, Omer Rav, Remehi. The Mishnah is going like Remeir. Remeir holds the Tanya. We learned in the Brisa, ketana, mibas yom echad v'achetovi shtei ser seish lemecher. A minor from the age of, from the moment she's born until she reaches puberty, which is 12 years old, you're able to sell her. The father could sell his daughter, vein lem knas. But if she's raped, there's no knas. Mishetovi shtei saros, but when she reaches puberty, she's 12. Vachdi boger, for that 6-month period when she becomes a full mature woman, yesh lem knas. If she's raped, you pay knas. Vein lo mecher, divrei meir. Meir says, you can no longer sell her, but you pay knas. Meir omer, kol mokashesh mecher, if the father's able to sell his daughter, ain't knas. Right? A minor, a father sells, once she reaches puberty, she can't sell her any longer. Sheish la mecher ain't knas, kol mokashesh knas, but when it's knas, there's no mecher, meaning it goes hand in hand. If she's 12, you can't sell her. If she's raped, you pay knas. If she's less than 12, when you could sell her, you don't pay knas. Cham omrim, Chum argue Remeir, and we rule like the Chachamim. Ketano be'ashot l'shon of yom echad achdi boger yesh lo knas. From a girl from the age of 3 years onward until she's 12 and a half, if she's raped, you pay knas. right? Yesh lo knas somewhere else. Knas in mechalo. It seems you pay knas. What you mean? The father can't sell her if she's 3.5 years old. If she's 3 years old, so in that the Gemara says no. So that's the Gemara. Yesh lo knas in mechalo lo. Ema af knas means in addition to being able to sell her from when she's beyond 3 years old. Besides that, you also pay knas. Af knas moka mecher. Okay, is it clear? So we have a machlok remain the chacham. According to Remeir, knas is only if she's between the age of 12 and 12 and a half. According to the chachamim, it's when it's considered an act of a cohabitation, was from the age of 3 until 12 and a half. A father can only sell his daughter only as long as she's a minor. Once she reaches 12 years old, if she reaches puberty, can't sell her any longer. So according to Remeir, that's the period he could sell her, but there's no knas because a minor doesn't get knas. There's no penalty. So it's only 6 months to chachomim. No. Even though the father could sell her, she still gets knas. He still gets knas if she's raped. However, selling is only till the age of 12, so therefore the knas goes 6 months beyond the period of time that a father could sell his daughter. Okay? What? Remeir, not Rebbe. Stam Mishnah Remeir.
So, what do they have to ask who was here? Is the assumption that this was Rebbe even able to say that here? Or they have to say it?
The Gemara, no, because Stam Mishnah Remeir doesn't mean Remeir means it could be one of his Talmidim. It doesn't mean him personally. Right. So now the Gemara asks a question. The Torah says whenever you pay knas always goes hand in hand. You marry the woman. There's an obligation to marry the woman. If these women are all psulos, and we're speaking with even cases of kores, person rapes his sister, can't marry his sister. So the Gemara asks, "Bahani b'nei klosedin b'may ikri kan v'lo isha isha ruyalo." It seems to be when do you pay knas? Only if you're able to marry her, a woman who you're permitted to marry. If she's a mamzeris or a nesina or that, you're not permitted to marry her. So how do you pay knas? Omer Rish Lakish answer is nara hanara. The Torah says regarding the case of rape, the word nara is written 3 times. It says nara hanara. Chad legufe wants to teach me she's a nara. That's when you pay knas. Chad lasuyi chayav lavin. One tells me even though it's a chayav lavin such as mamzer, it's chayav lavin, you pay knas. Chad lasuyi chayav krisus. And the other one comes to teach me that you even if it's chayav krisus, you also pay knas. Let's see Rashi. Ba'ones nara hanara. Ba'ones ksiv ki motzi ish nara besulo. It says if you find a woman who's a nara besulo who's being raped, uchsiv basu nosli shoshochiv imo lavi hanara. It says nara a second time. Dashin nari yisero, vehe yisero. The hanara motz lemichta v'nosen lovia. So the word you have 2 things. It says nara, then it says hanara. So hanara is divided into 2 words, as if you would read it hanara and nara. Of course, it could have said you give to her father. What is it? The whole word hanara is superfluous. Okay. Further, Rav Papa says it says besula besulos ha besulos. This is written by Mefater. If a person seduces a nara, you also pay knas. So it says over there, she had besula, then it says besulos ha besulos. Chad legufi again, if she's a kosher woman. Chad l'sui chayvi lavim. If you go and you seduce a woman which is like a mamzeris. V'chad l'sui chayvi krisus. Person goes and seduces his sister, or the sister of his wife. These are chayvi krisus. So I ask a question. Why does Rav Papa have to introduce other words? Why does he learn as Rish Lakish? It says nara hanara. Right? Ahumi boile lekadabaye. Yeah. He says because those psukim, Rav Papa says the pasuk nara hanara. He needs that what to introduce Rabbi. The Omer Rabbi bo leo meso. Yeah. What happens if he goes and rapes her and then she dies? She dies. Potter. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay knas. You hear this? You only pay knas only if she's alive. That's when you have to pay the father. Shenemar v'nos lavi hanaro. Lavi hanaro v'lavi meso. Rav Papa says you must pay the penalty to the father of the naro. What happens if she's died? She's not naro any longer. It's interesting. There's a famous story. That time, till 9:30. Let's leave 9:30. We're almost finished. This famous story, the Noda Yehuda. His name was Rabbi Haskell Landau. He was the chief rabbi of Prague. He was the leading Torah sage of the world. Wrote many responsa. So there was a Shiloh when he was 4 years old. He walks into the shul, and all the Talmud Chacham, they're arguing a case. What was the case? Two brothers, they had a very bad relationship, and one swore that he will never look at his face ever again for the rest of his life. He will never look at him again for the rest of his life. And he took an oath. He took a shvur. The brother died. So the question was, afterwards, they wanted to know if he goes, before they were going to put on the tachrichim, the shrouds, he wants to go look at him and ask him forgiveness. So he took an oath that he's never going to look at him. So he's permitted to look at him, because he'll be in violation of his oath, of his shvur. They were going back and forth and back and forth. He was 4 years old, Noda Yehuda. He says he thinks he has a proof. He just learned in the Cheder. It says, Moshe Rabbeinu says to Klal Yisrael by Kriyas Yamsuf, the Egyptians that you saw, you will never ever see them again. And then afterwards, what happens? The ocean spit out their remains. And when they saw them lying dead on the sea, he said, Ozi Osher. Hashem said to them, you will never see them again. So what does seeing mean? It means alive. The remains is not called seeing. So based on what he said when he was 4 years old, they ruled that he's able to ask forgiveness of his brother, look at his brother and ask forgiveness. Okay? That's a famous story. Over here we're saying, Abayi says that if a person rapes a woman, and before he pays the penalty, she dies. The victim dies. So it says, Rabbi says he's absolved from paying the penalty. Why? Because you must give to Avi Hanara v'Avi Amesa. The father of the Nara, the connotation when she's alive, not if she died. So you see, she's only called, what do you mean? She's a Nara, same. So you see also, when do we deal with them as if she's a person? That's only when she's alive, not when she's dead. Seemingly would be a proof from here also. Similar to what we're saying. Reish Lakish, my time of the Omar Reb Papa. So why does Reish Lakish learn from Reb Papa, from Besulos, Habsulos, Hamboilo L'Gzera Shava, the Tanya? It says we need for Gzera Tanya Kesev Yishkol Kamar Habsulos. Shizeh Kamar Bsulos, Samo Bsulos Kozef, meaning we're talking about a ksuba. How much it says you pay her the equivalent of a dowry, right? A dowry is similar to this, and this is similar to that. Rashi says, Besul Chsiv Gabi Mefatim Miboyle Gzershav Besula Gzershav Ma Kesef Omo Baones Chamishim. Where does it say you pay 50? When you rape a woman, it says 50. But what's the coinage? What is the weight of the 50? And then it says over here, Af Mefatah Chamishim. Ma Mefatah Shkolim. The Chsiv Be Yishkol Af Chamishim Shalones Shkolim Komar. Yeah. More Besul Chamishim Kesef Hamfuroshim B'Ma'anes Es Absula. Okay? Because he needs it for Gzera Shova. Reish Lakish Nami Boilech Dabai says, how does Reish Lakish know Abayis halacha? That if the girl should die before you pay the knas that you pay, you're absolved from paying the father. Rav Papa mi boy Reish Lakish Nami Boilech Dabai. Rav Papa Nami Boilech Gzera Shova Elishisa Kroi Ksivi. We have 6 words. We have Nara Hanara, Bsula Sabsul, Trelu Gufayu. 2 of them you have for themselves. Chad l'dabayi, chad l'gzera shava, and the other v'ais lutrei, chad l'asuyi chayvi lav, chad l'asuyi chayvi krisus. Okay? So we're concluding that even if he rapes a woman, his sister, or the sister of his wife, which the liability is kores, you pay knas. Meaning we only say kimlei midrabim minei only if it's the death penalty. But if it's a lesser liability death penalty, you pay knas. So Mor says, La Fukim B'Hai Tana. Our Mishnah argues with this Tana. The Tanya says, Lo Si L'Isha, Shimatemi Oma Isha Sheish B'Havayo. When do you pay knas? That's only a woman who you can marry. Could you marry a Chavi Krisus? You can't marry a Chavi Krisus. A woman, Isha Sheish B'Havayo, Rishim Menashe Oma Isha Aruya L'Kaimo. A woman that you're able to retain. Let's say he rapes a mamzeris. A mamzeris you can't marry. So what's the difference? One says a woman who marriage is effect, and the other one says a woman who you could retain. My b'nei Omer Reb Zeir mamzeres nesina kabin. The difference is a mamzer. If you marry mamzeres, the kedushin is she's married, but you're not permitted to retain her. So according to Shimon Moni, you pay knas. According to Shimon Menasio, a woman who you're permitted to keep as a wife, you don't pay knas. According to Shimon Moni means that if you should marry her, the marriage is effective, right? Mamzeres or Nesina, if you marry her, the marriage is a marriage, although you're not permitted to be with her. But according to Shimon Menasio, it has to be a woman that you're permitted to retain. You're not permitted to keep her. According to Rabbi Kiva, the Rabbi Kiva holds that a chayvi lavin marriage, you cannot marry a chayvi lavin. What's the difference between Shimon Menashe and Shimon Atimoni? Amon Kohen Gadol. Right? Amon Kohen Gadol is what? Is only Kirab Simoy Tan Minakol Ose Rabbi Kiva Mamzerin. All cases you have mamzer. Whenever you violate chayv lav, it's a mamzer. Chutz me'amandol kohen gadol shomer Torah lo yikach. It says lo yikach v'lo yichalio. It says if a kohen marries a woman who is not permitted to, it says lo yikach. He shouldn't take her because he'll desecrate his children. So what does lo yichal means? The kids are chalolim, chalolim and not mamzer. But every lav, it's what the child is a mamzer according to Reb Kiva. Here it says lo yichalo chilun osav ein osav mamzerin. Somewhere it says. Rabbi Yeshiva dom above in the tzavech al kiv ben Yoshua Omer kol she'en b'bir b'Yisrael havlad mamzer. But according to Rabbi Yeshiva, it says according to Rabbi Kiva, any forbidden relationship, the child's a mamzer. My beinayu, ik beinayu chayvi essay mitzvah domi. That's where what? Where the provision is an iser essay. It's not a love. Okay, we'll stop here.